into these boots. It's so good to be here. I'm so happy to be back in New York. I moved last year from Brooklyn to Georgia to save the democracy. You're welcome. It was me. I usually say that just to see who doesn't clap. I'm sure they're here. I moved down there to vote, but also, obviously, to get a gun, because when in Rome, and by Rome, I mean Rome, Georgia, you register to vote there, it comes with a Smith & Wesson. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. It's like weird because the South is a true dichotomy. You know, I'm hard now, I'm a gun owner, but I'm also soft. I say good morning to people. I'm a Jersey girl. We don't do that above the Mason-Dixon line, okay? I brought that back up to New York City. People think New Yorkers are tough. You want to scare a New Yorker? Smile, look them in the eyes, and say good morning. Yeah, they will think you about to rob them. Only thing worse, somebody asked me for the time once. I said, I will mace you in your face. What time is it? Where is your cell phone? If they laugh, I don't care. I actually miss things. I miss flying, which I never thought in the pandemic I would miss. The last place I went before everything went down was to Burlington, Vermont. I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but let's just say there were more Black Lives Matter signs than Black Lives. Yeah. It was a weird place. I got off that plane, I said, is this north of the wall? What's happening right now? It's perfect temperature for White Walkers and ice cream. I'm used to being the only black person somewhere, but on this flight to Vermont, I was the only young person. I thought it was the flight to heaven. They was old. They wasn't regular old. They sat me next to a 90-year-old white lady. Why do I know that? Because she told me. I didn't ask her a question. I sat down. She was like, I'm 90. I said, I'm black. I don't know what's happening. Why are we stating our demographics? Is this the census? She was a chatty 90. I think she was trying to get all her words out before the end. Yeah, it was weird, because I don't usually talk to people on airplanes. I'm not a monster. She was talking to me. She was telling me stuff I didn't ask. I was like, yo, since we talking, I didn't know you could fly that old. Why we showing ID at the airport if anybody can get on the plane? You're not allowed to fly a certain amount of pregnant, right? That's on site. 90, that's the end of the third trimester of life. Why is she on the plane with me? I'm not a doctor, Delta, but death is crowning. I see it. I know I sound ageist, and that's probably because I am. I think there's age minimums, we need age maximums, okay? We need an age maximum for flights, computer techs, presidents. Right, y'all agree. Y'all agree. Get that motorcade on track. And it was just so weird. She just kept telling me stuff I didn't ask, let me know she was going to visit her big sister. She turned me into an owl. I said, who is your big sister? And last but not least, she just didn't know how to talk to a young black person, because at one point, I'm not making this up, she just started naming black people she could remember. That got awkward real quick because she 90. She don't know no new blacks. She was hitting me with throwblacks. Yeah. Crazy. We were talking about music, and she was like, do you know Ella Fitzgerald? First of all, how dare you? Of course, I know who Ella Fitzgerald is. She's like, Ella Fitzgerald and Nat King Cole are my favorite singers. And I wanted the conversation to be awkward and end. So I was like, what can I say to make her not want to talk to me no more? I was like, since we're talking about favorites, you know Harriet Tubman? And Nat Turner, they're my favorite slaves. You don't want to talk anymore, do you? She was like, no, Moses is my favorite slave. I was like, you know what? Did you just outslave me? That is rude. Moses was a great slave. Top 5. My name is Joyelle. Thank you guys for listening to me.
Hey, hey.